play. Of course, they're a little bit less practiced in the Rogue Mage mirrors, and when they have played Rogue Mage Druid into M2KC, they have lost on the whole. So we were questioning comps like the double Destro being something that they've had success with in the past. Maybe that could have been an option, maybe something we might see later in the series, but I'm pretty happy to see this as a starting pick. Chanimal, of course, as you guys were saying, you want to have him in as many games as possible. This guy is so insanely good in the live environment, and with Snuts, this is going to be a dangerous comp.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. We'll have to see, though. M2KC with the Assassination Fire Mage, they've been able to run all over Warlocks. Chanimal, is it going to be a similar fate for him? We'll have to see what Snuts and Cubsy can do to really back him up. Rubcup taking a bunch of damage early on into a kidney shot. Is this going to be an early Divine Shield? Jamili coming back, trying to peel for him the best he can. A follow-up bash from Cubsy. Rubcup barely holding on. He needs to be able to hold on to the Divine Shield. That was a really close call, but finally behind the pillar, Snuts is just going to be targeting him down, and I'm really surprised at this damage.
Yeah, I mean, this was the Vendetta. There's surely going to be the Divine Shield. They're actually diminishing return on the stun. Chanimal with a rare mistake there, the triple DR Shadow Fury. They might still force the Divine Shield. He's so low on health. This is very brave from Rubcup. He's risking it all, but he does end up using that significant immunity cooldown, and this is something that's actually been a weakness for Holy Paladins for a very long time. We saw it yesterday. Trill
He's still low.
Demon Hunter.
He's still in trouble.
Now Rubcup is in the same situation.
He's in so much trouble.
Shot, and he does go down. Cloud9 abusing Rubcup on that Paladin and get a quick victory in game one.
Facing elimination here, Cloud9 looking to get themselves a match point.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, if this has been their heating up phase, they really need to catch fire soon, because, I mean, the Kitty Cats, maybe they started with 9 lives. They've got 2 left in this tournament. 2 losses, of course, would eliminate them here, but also for BlizzCon. And after such a good summer season, M2KC will certainly want to go out with a little bit more shebang, I suppose, the Jamili way. Big damage, big offense. Let's see what he can get done here. He's going to have to get over to Cubsy, get that crowd control rolling, because M2KC yesterday, the biggest mistake that we said from them is they just got overly defensive. We want to see them playing aggressive. They're all-in auxiliary play. The blind comes out as they initiate the play.
Yeah, Dragon's Breath Sheep onto Snuts. Cubsy gets caught into a blind. He trinkets out. Unfortunately, no follow-up crowd control. Now Cubsy should be able to keep Chanimal alive, and it looks like Cloud9, they're going to be going after Rubcup once again. They really don't want him to play aggressive in this match, so if they can keep pressuring him down, keep him in kidney shots, he's not going to be able to get out nearly as much damage. And once again, he's taking a tremendous amount of damage. The Battle Masters comes in, but he's still rotting down lower and lower, and Snuts can stay on target. It's going to be scary for Rubcup. Snuts actually blinding him up, not allowing him to recover his hit points. If he can get the sap and follow it up with a stun, I think it's going to be the Divine Shield of Rubcup.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone was questioning Snuts on the Rogue, this might be his first time on LAN this year. He's looking outstanding so far. Killing Rubcup early game one, now the blind reset on the melee wings, meaning that Rubcup's not got full health for this kidney shot stun lock. He used the human racial out of that, I do believe, so he's still got the Divine Shield, but other than that, he's very low on defensive cooldowns. Divine Favor still not topping himself. Cubsy, meanwhile, caught up in crowd control. Chanimal definitely being attacked a fair bit better by Roasties here. You can see Rubcup mostly able to line of sight him, though interestingly actually standing in line of sight, exposing himself to the coil into the kidney shot. I feel like this is uncharacteristic from Rubcup. He should be line of sighting this Destruction Warlock for sure.
At some point, though, he has to expose his positioning in order to get the crowd control on Cubsy. If he was pushing in for Hammer Justice, I feel like that's what Cubsy's doing a great job of. Right now, he's actually, I think he's trying to position to get out of combat and go for a drink. I just don't know if he's going to be able to at this point in the game. He's used a lot of mana. M2KC does have a mana lead, and that's big. And I feel like for Cloud9 at this point, if Rubcup continues to play this well defensively, he's actually pushing in, and this was where they really need to pressure him. Hammer of Justice lands on Cubsy. Chanimal in a lot of trouble, but the preemptive Ironbark might be able to keep him alive. Jamili going for crowd control. Kidney shot on Rubcup. Snuts trying to generate some counter pressure. Divine Favor comes in. Rubcup might be able to stabilize here, but Chanimal can get off any damage. It's looking like it could be Rubcup's life, or certainly his Divine Shield.
Yeah, it certainly could be, and we can see the Mortal Coil. It's actually on the UI now, so Chanimal using that to stay alive. Very nicely done by him. Cubsy actually went for a big drink, and they almost got punished for it, but now, of course, his trinkets rotated back up. There's still the Unending Resolve on Chanimal, so defense for Cloud9's looking great. Offense also, they're looking for that Divine Shield once again. DR Mighty Bash coming in. It's the wall, but it's maybe going to be the Divine Shield. The Avenging Crusader is putting out a lot of heals. Chaos Bolt comes in and will force out that significant defensive. Once again, these Chaos Bolts shouldn't be possible from Chanimal, but he always finds a way.
He always finds a way, and with that Chaos Bolt, it is the Divine Shield, and Snuts still just all over this Holy Paladin. RubCub, he's normally the Paladin that can push in. He can get aggressive, but Snuts, Chanimal, Cubsy, they're really punishing him, and as a result, M2KC hasn't been able to find the crowd control we normally see. Jamili forced to play defensive, peel off Snuts instead of get those polymorphs onto Cubsy, and I think Cubsy, once again, he's in stealth. He's trying to sneak away, and if he can recover his mana, things are going to be looking really good for Cloud9.
I wonder if this is something that people are going to start picking up on the ladder, because the Paladin really can be a weakness. You know, the Rogue and the Mage, very tanky. The Paladin often initiates the crowd control chain with the Hammer of Justice. Just attacking him seems to shut down M2KC so hard, and given the prominence of this composition on the ladder right now, it might be something that a lot of people at home can take away from the tournament. RubCub is starting to fall behind on mana. Jamili uses his Ice Block to keep himself in the fight. Maybe they're even going to have to swap targets here, because, I mean, they're just losing this game right now. This matchup looks completely one-sided. A full kidney shot. RubCub has no breakers. It's the Infernals. It's the Shadow Fury. It's Chanimal.
Oh, RubCub! What are you going to do? Big Holy Light comes in. He does manage to stabilize. He's behind the pillar with his Blessing of Freedom. Snuts, Chanimal, they're all trying to get on top of him, but this is massive damage from the Infernals. Avenging Wrath finally getting off cooldown. If RubCub can't top here, I don't think he's ever going to top himself. Hammer of Justice on Snuts in complete desperation, but this damage is insane. Battle Masters fades. RubCub still in a lot of trouble. Jamili has to come back, try to get some peels going, but if Jamili and Roasties are focusing on Snuts, Chanimal going to be in a prime position to really get some damage rolling, and that's a scary prospect for M2KC.
Yeah, they need to start swapping it up, and they are. They're going for Cubsy here. Snuts also uses evasion offensively on the melee wings. Look at his defensive arsenal right now. No cloak, no vanish, no evasion. Could be a swap target. M2KC going after Cubsy. Meanwhile, they have the blind for the trinket. If they could potentially bait out that cooldown, they could go for a kill on either one of the targets. I think the kill on Chanimal is abandoned at this point. Blessing of Protection, last line of defense. The Purge from the Fell Hunter, unable to find that, meaning that RubCub should be able to free cast a few heals here in the back line, and they are actually swapping over to Snuts now. They force the feint. Cloak of Shadows is the only rotated cooldown. A blind on Cubsy into a Hammer of Justice could be the game. They're going for the bomb play right now. Is it enough damage? It looks like it might be.
Ooh, Gladiator Safeguard procs, and that's enough to keep Snuts alive. Still has the Cloak of Shadows, but he also has the Vendetta and Smoke Bomb, so there's a big offensive push available for Cloud9. However, that was a nice setup there by M2KC with the Smoke Bomb. Snuts didn't have his trinket, and they were able to get a lot of pressure because of it, but it just wasn't enough. At 5% dampening, RubCub is almost completely tapped on mana. Cubsy at some point was able to go drink, and right now, Cloud9, they're in a prime position to go up 2-0 in this match.
And they're doing such a good job with the positioning. Look at it from this aerial view. Chanimal constantly being line of sighted by RubCub. They don't need to attack him. He's very immobile. Anyone should be able to line of sight on the small map. This is why M2KC goes for this map play. We can see the crowd control chain is endless. 20 seconds on the Divine Shield. Avenging Crusader comes up. Is it going to be enough healing for RubCub? He needs this healing to survive till that immunity cooldown. They're going for the counter kills. The Hammer of Justice. Can they land the Ring of Frost? No. Chanimal once again all over Jamili. Fear after fear. The Mage cannot land the crowd control. Snuts still low. The Cloak of Shadows. 10% health. It's the Iron Bark as well. So many defensives overlap. They're so close to the kill.
Ooh, Snuts a little bit greedy in that situation. He really wanted to take down RubCub, but it almost cost Cloud9 the match. Luckily, he got the Cloak of Shadows off. He still has the evasion, but Snuts a very vulnerable target right now. This is a really nice adaptation from M2KC. Jamili with his combustion. He's going to be a big threat. Dragon's Breath on Cubsy. Snuts could easily fall. The evasion comes in, as well as the Crimson Vial. He's kiting around, really trying to use this Efflorescence for the additional healing. Kitty shot now onto Roasties as Cloud9 mix it up. Smoke Bomb coming in as well. Can they take down Roasties? Does have the Vanish. If he needs it, he can use that to escape and survive, but both teams making adaptations in the game.
Yeah, certainly since M2KC swapped over to Snuts, I feel like the game has been so much better for them. Of course, Snuts being snared means that RubCub can actually kite away with the Hand of Freedom, and that is actually keeping them in the fight. Considering how close they were to dead about 2-3 minutes ago, it's pretty incredible they're still in this one. So Snuts definitely going to be the new kill target. Potentially a swap over to Cubsy. You can see Vendetta is available. He has no trinket. Those are the sorts of win conditions M2KC are looking at right now. But honestly, I think if they just tunnel Snuts, they could potentially win this one on mana. Maybe a swap over to Chanimal's. RubCub has the Divine Shield and the Hand of Sacrifice, so he can keep his team in the fight for a fair bit longer. Cubsy once again sitting down. I'm not sure, he doesn't quite get the full mana, but certainly it's going to help. 20% dampening this game real soon. The Hand of Sacrifice didn't save him, and Roasties goes down.
I think so. You could really tell he had a talent.
Yeah, I mean, moreover as well, the thing is, he's a leader in the team, right? Like, he plays his class, but I mean, even when I'm playing with him or when I was watching him backstage, the guy he'll manipulate what everyone does. Like, he'll tell Cubsy, hey, or he'll ask, like, what cooldowns do we have? Do we have Trinket? Do we have Ironbark? He really does take that leading role in-game, which I think is something that you only need one of that on a team, but there's so few people that fulfill that role to a high level. So someone like Snuts really can be in-game something massive for Cloud9. We're already starting to see that in this series. He is just such a good shot caller. We see games going, you know, 5-10 minutes. Here, he can kill people in 2 minutes. So really a big momentum swing for Cloud9. If they can make this composition work into the Rogue Mage, this could be something that takes them all the way back to that grand final.
Yeah, and it looks like M2KC, they want to be really aggressive here on Chanimal. They do get the Ironbark and the Trinket, but they're allowing Snuts to just sit on Rubcup. Jamili actually coming back, trying to get a polymorph on Snuts, but he gets Spell Act. Really good backup there by Chanimal, allowing Snuts to maintain his uptime and try to start generating some pressure on Rubcup, because this initial pressure from Cloud9 isn't nearly as high as we saw in the first 2 games.
Yeah, it certainly isn't. It's been a good opener for M2KC. Chanimal dropping low, though now Rubcup actually taking damage. Snuts bombs himself to deny any peels, maybe looking for that Divine Shield early. See Avenging Crusader, DL stun comes out. Doesn't look like the Mortal Coil's landed just yet, though it is available. There is the Mortal Coil. Counter spell, the Infernal as well. They're really pushing for this Divine Shield, but they won't find it. Chanimal, meanwhile, low on health. Cubsy doesn't have anything to save him. This could be a quick kill for M2KC off the break. There's the Hammer of Justice. Is there follow-up? There's the Ring of Frost. Is it going to land? It doesn't. He misses the Ring of Frost. Oh no! The Ring of Frost is scuffed by Jamili, and that might cost them the kill.
That is a complete nightmare for M2KC, unfortunately, and now it's Rubcup that's on the back foot. Snuts all over him with the help of Chanimal's Infernal. Big damage. Rubcup with really no cooldowns left. He's trying to fake cast the kick. Snuts is holding on to it, but unfortunately Rubcup does manage to find a heal, and it looks like he should be able to stabilize, but this pressure is just unrelenting from Cloud9. They really have to try to get Snuts off, and finally Jamili comes back, lands a polymorph, but Rubcup's just dying! Divine Shield, while Snuts is in a polymorph. Chanimal from the midfield lands a Shadow Fury that doesn't allow Rubcup to top himself off, and as a result, they get the major defensive cooldown, that Divine Shield.
That was a huge, a series of events there for Cloud9. Firstly, they survive by the skin of their teeth, and then they land that Divine Shield. So such a good trade for them. The Divine Shield, of course, the major defensive cooldown for the Paladin. Now he's caught up in midfield once again, Rubcup. He's in line of sight constantly of Chanimal. Maybe he needs to line of sight, but at the same time, he needs to land those Hammer of Justice on Cubsy for their offense. So it's almost an impossible task for the Paladin in this matchup. He's been doing a good job so far. Blessing of Protection is traded out, maybe trying to just force Snuts back, make him a little bit deterred here. The Fell Hunter has also backed off, so they will be able to stabilize for now, but at the cost of one of those last remaining defensive cooldowns. Cubsy, meanwhile, has his Trinket back up, has his Ironbark back up, and as long as he can keep this positioning on the big map, it looks like Cloud9 should be able to win this one.
Yeah, Rosty's actually getting swapped to right now. Snuts and Chanimal turning their attention there. Blind Sap onto Rubcup. Big damage on Roasties. They managed to force out his Cloak of Shadows as well. He's got no Trinket, so Roasty's a vulnerable target. If they get crowd control on Rubcup, he doesn't have any breaks. Keep in mind, he's playing Relentless. So if he gets caught into a Fear or a Bash from Cubsy, any of that crowd control, it's going to stick full with no Divine Shield. And that is when Roasties really is going to be vulnerable if they decide to make a swap on him. So now there's multiple pressure points here in the game for Cloud9.
Yeah, and that's all off of clinical shot calling from Snuts, of course. They could have just kept going after Rubcup, used the blind defensively. I think a lot of teams would have gone for that line, but instead they create those multiple weaknesses, and M2KC, you know, once it looked kind of, you know, there was just one thing they have to worry about. Now there's multiple things suddenly. So Cloud9 once again showing that top level play here in Game 3. Potentially M2KC's final game of 2019 here at the Arena World Championship. If they lose this one, they're out. This is the Kitty Cat's last life, and they're trying to use it their best to kill Chanimal. Once again, innovate from Cubsy, keeping him high, stable. That's a good counterspell from Jamili. Combustion gets popped on that. No Ironbark available for a couple of seconds due to that counterspell. Chanimal therefore using his Dwarf Ratio as Rubcup pushes in. They're trying once again for this Ring of Frost, but a good spell lock will deny.
Yeah, really nicely done. Good shutdowns here by Snuts, by Chanimal. Right now, M2KC, they need to try to find some pressure, but if Rubcup gets interrupted, could be in some trouble. It's actually Roasties who gets swapped to. Kidney Shot, Smoke Bomb. Trinket vanish immediately. Roasties knew what was going on and he wanted no part of it. But still, Rubcup just struggling so much. Avenging Crusader rolling now. Should finally be able to top off his team and get some good counter pressure here on the Chanimal. this is dangerous for Cloud9. Cubsy trying to keep him alive, but once Ironbark fades, if right now M2KC can maintain this pressure, I don't know if Channel's going to get topped off.
I can imagine a world where Cubsy isn't as good as he is. If he doesn't pre-Ironbark that bomb, that's game in favor of M2KC. What a stellar play. All 6 of these guys have had a fantastic year, but it's Cloud9 that are getting the better of this exchange. Blind once again forces the trinket from Cubsy. That's going to be perfectly reasonable as RubCub is very low on cooldowns. The Divine Shield is rotating up shortly, and that's another thing to note about attacking the Paladin. Because they're tunneling down RubCub, he's actually forced to spec away from the double Divine Steed, which helps the Paladin get that mobility. Snuts dropping a little bit low here, though he does have defensive cooldowns to answer. The Cloak of Shadows, the Vanish, both available. He's running the Relentless, of course. Now RubCub caught up in a fear. He's caught in midfield. The kidney shot snipes him. Chaos Bolts connect. That will force the Divine Shield, and once again, great plays from Cloud9. You know, RubCub tries to cross for a second, and he gets punished.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do. When RubCub plays aggressive, you really have to punish it, and I think that's the best strategy against M2KC. You can't just let them be aggressive on you the entire match. However, Cubsy in a full Ring of Frost. Snuts getting swapped to. He's got the Cloak of Shadows and the Vanish. He's just going to trade the Vanish for now. Cheap shot onto Jamili, denying any follow-up crowd control. Nicely done. Doesn't overlap it with the Cloak of Shadows. Really, really important. But he also doesn't want to play too aggressive here on RubCub. Needs to stay in line of sight of Cubsy, or it's going to be super dangerous for Snuts. Trades out the Hellstone, and right now, M2KC, they're getting a lot of cooldowns from Snuts. Things aren't looking too bad.
Yeah, I definitely think the Assassination Rogue is a good kill target for a Holy Paladin version of Rogue Mage. They just have so much consistent damage. The Kleptomania, of course, you can't Klepto back, so something like the Safeguard will disappear instantly, and that's a pain for Cubsy's mana pool. You can see it. I think he was hovering about 20, 30. Maybe he's looking for a drink right now. Kidney shot, meanwhile, on RubCub. As Cloud9, one of the things they do best is they always go for those drinks with the counter pressure. Avenging Crusader, last line of defense for RubCub. Is it going to be enough healing? That Judgment in about 2 seconds here is going to chunk his health up a fair bit if he's able to land it. There you go, the 100% health on the Paladin, but that was the last line of defense outside of the sacrifice, which of course won't save RubCub. Meanwhile, Snuts taking damage. Ironbark comes out. Both healers low on mana. This is going to be a cutthroat finish.
Yeah, it certainly is, and Snuts is in some trouble. Trades out the feint. Has his defensive cooldowns, certainly doesn't want to go down without using them. Cubsy right now at around 10% mana. RubCub has a lead. This is good for M2KC at 15% dampening. They could even make a swap onto Chanimal at around 20% dampening. I think it would be super effective. That's when the Assassination Rogue is really good against the Destruction Warlock, but I think going after Snuts, it's limiting his damage output, and they've had good control on Chanimal. You can tell M2KC, they're really getting warmed up.
Yeah, some of these more tanky classes do become vulnerable in dampening. You can see Jamili also no ice block for a minute. Cloud9 just doing damage, which is honestly the best way to play it as the healing gets reduced deeper into the game.
No ice block
on RubCub, no ice block on Jamili. He's the kill target right now. Do they have the sap to follow this? No Vanish on Snuts, so they won't be able to land the follow-up, but still, it's good pressure. It's forcing M2KC back, and look at Cubsy going for the drink in the distance.
Yeah, this is the perfect situation. They got the blind, try to go for sap on RubCub, just making Jamili play defensive, and as a result, Cubsy can sneak away. He can get a drink, and Cloud9, they set that up beautifully. Good strategy adaptation. Cubsy, if he comes back with full mana, this is the best situation Cloud9 could possibly be in. Right now, Chanimal caught into a kitty shot in a smoke bomb. Big damage here from M2KC. Chanimal could be in a lot of trouble. Good crowd control by Jamili. Is there any crowd control in Cubsy? There's the Hammer of Justice, but he got the Ironbark, and that should be enough to keep Chanimal alive. Infernals drop down. You can see Chanimal right now is kind of buttering up Cubsy for Snuts as he takes a bite for the kidney shot. RubCub getting low, but a full polymorph snuck in onto Cubsy, and now it's Chanimal on the back foot. He uses the Unending Resolve. He's trying to make it an offensive push. Both teams trading out the defensives, and this is scary. Yeah,
Jamili suddenly making up for that Ring of Frost mistake earlier, putting the game on his shoulders a little bit with that polymorph. That was a huge play, momentum swing. It forced all of Cloud9 to retreat and peel, and moreover, now RubCub is pretty stable. Divine Shield's up in 15 seconds. He will have his immunity to death. If he dies before that, of course, it's going to be heartbreaking, but I think it's unlikely that Snuts will be able to land that. Good peels coming in from Jamili, the Dragon's Breath into the polymorph now. Full counterspell on Cubsy. Jamili all over the map as Chanimal drops low. There's no defense left in the tank. That's a full Hammer of Justice. Cloud9 could drop this one.
Yep, M2KC, they're looking to make the final push here. Cubsy just a few seconds left on Ironbark, but it's RubCub who could just fall. Full kidney shot from Snuts. Jamili desperately trying to help keep him alive, and the third Divine Shield in the game. Keep RubCub in it. He needs to top himself off, though. This is a really scary situation to be in. Snut's still all over him. 30% dampening. If Cannibal can push in at all, Vendetta gets ripped out, and RubCub, he is running out of time.
Yeah, certainly a few people have a Vendetta against Jamili, but Snuts is looking to put the final blade in RubCub's back here. It's a full kidney shot. M2KC's tournament lifeline, their BlizzCon lifeline, is looking to be extinguished here. He's running for his life for the tournament right now. We've got the Divine Favor. Should be a decent-sized heal. Avenging Crusader proc as well. Very nice timing there for RubCub, given his mana pool is so low. Evasion from Snuts. He doesn't want to throw the match. We're at 31% dampening. Absolutely crazy. Both healers completely tapped on mana. Honestly, any of these 6 players could fall.
What an insane game. Roasties, they are really fighting it for it here. M2KC, their tournament life is on the line. They need to win this game. Kidney shot on Channel. They're trying to get the damage rolling, but Roasty's still on the back foot. He has no Cloak of Shadows, just traded out his Vanish. He's really vulnerable. Right now, Roasty's, he's looking to punish Snuts. Snuts may have overstayed his welcome, but he has the defensive cooldowns to trade if he really needs to. They want to take down RubCub, but the kidney shot on Snuts could be the end of the game. Gladiator Safeguard procs as well as the Cloak of Shadows as they make their final push. Chanimal marches forward with the Mortal Coil. RubCub gets out of line of sight, and he still manages to hold on, Adrian.
Yeah, Snuts is in an impossible situation. He needs to push in for the final kill, but he hasn't got the Cloak of Shadows. It's going over to Roasties. It's a Hand of Sacrifice, but it's not an ultimate sacrifice, and Chaos Bolts come crash again. Roasties is going to fall most likely here. He's nothing left in the tank. The Feint, he's walking away, but even Cubsy's going in with the Feral Affinity. Infernals are chasing. 40% dampening. The Avenging Crusader comes out from RubCub. Maybe a Vision Protection proc, and he actually keeps his team in the fight. Crazy time for that to proc. Kidney shot, Blessing of Protection. Somehow, some way, the Kitty Cats live by their whiskers.
Everything on the line, and you can tell they want it. They're trying to battle it back. Snuts committed everything offensively. He's super vulnerable, and M2KC, they know it. If they can push in and take down Snuts, it's going to be a victory, and they'll be able to stay in the tournament, but I don't know if Roasties can afford to. Right now, Chanimal in the midfield, he's denying RubCub. There's no ability to drink. Look at this pesky Fell Hunter just chasing him down, and as a result, Cloud9, if Cubsy once again can recover his mana, they're going to be in such a good position, but at 42% dampening, at this point, Fire Mage Assassination Row can take down anyone, but it could just be Roasties. Kidney shot, Smoke Bomb, Jamili with the Dragon's Breath in defiance to keep him alive, but the Mortal Coil from Chanimal closes out the series and sends M2KC home.
To be able to get one step closer to BlizzCon is going to be Method Orange or Diabolus.
I mean, this is a real test to see, does the Frost DK, is it going to be able to hold up against the RMD, right? Because this is the counter that we've been hearing of. And if they can't beat Diabolus, I don't know if Method Orange will be able to take out Method Black. So hopefully they win this series. Full step over on the Sea-Doo, cheap shot in the Mez. I think they want to open on Trill early on, at least until dampening. That should be their strategy. But I don't know, they released a CC, but don't do a go. They couldn't catch Trill and Kidney. They actually decided to go into Sea-Doo, full grapple weapon over on the Nixie, good peels by Trill, double blind over on the Nixie and Asgrath, and they countered to go pretty well. Double leg sweep over. Asgrath actually trinkets the very first stun. Possibility to punish him on that. Nixie dipping dangerously low, still having the evasion, Cloak of Shadows, and Vanish, so he should be okay.
Lots of pressure going on here. Method Orange definitely no strangers to this Rogue Mage matchup, bringing out their signature Windwalker Death Knight. Sea-Doo actually opting into spec into the Ghost Wolf, which it adds a stacking damage reduction the longer he sits in that Ghost Wolf. So I think that instantly caught Diabolus off guard, trying to open on Sea-Doo, getting no pressure. Instantly swapping it up, kidney shot onto Troyer, trying to get some pressure rolling. Need some follow-up crowd control onto Sea-Doo, otherwise Sea-Doo should be able to easily top his team off here. Mez currently in a sheep. Right now, I think Method Orange really want to try to potentially look for a kill on Asgrath. That first triple leg sweep by Trill there just got so much pressure onto them. And I think that definitely put him on the back foot here. Trill attacking Nixie behind the pillar, definitely cannot get on target right now. Sea-Doo doing a great job positioning himself so far away from the rogue of Nixie right now.
Because of the Frost Death Knight, I actually want to see them not hit Asgrath for a little, possibly get Iron Bark, and then as soon as they get Iron Bark, try to use their next stun over on Asgrath and then go him because he won't have Trinket and Iron Bark available. So far, Method Orange doing an incredible job stopping the goes. Early in tournament already down by Sea-Doo, won't be up for 50 seconds. Double blind on the DPS into a double leg sweep. We always see this from Method Orange. Beautiful Nixie dipping low once again, still having his Trinket. Trades out the Vanish instead of the evasion. Alec getting kicked, Iron Bark being traded by Asgrath. So much pressure coming out by Method Orange actually, and they're trying to revert the pressure by cheap shotting Mez and slow it down a little bit, and they do a really, really good job and slowing down the pressure.
Time for Diabolus to turn it around here. Kidney shot on a Trill. Frozen Orb is in use. Asgrath, beautiful time to drink here as his teammate already has the offensive pressure. Hopefully comes out here with full mana, can bring the game back into their favor here. Alec getting locked up by Trill. Good job by him. Nice mind freeze from Mez there. Sidu still just untouched this game. Nixie really trying to get set up that kidney shot, but just Sidu is so prepared for it. He's ready for it. Alec trying to set it up here. Sheep on a Trill, looking to connect that kidney shot onto Sidu right now. Alec and Nixie connecting finally, maybe. Nope. Unfortunately not. It looks like they want to commit to Trill here. Kidney shot onto Trill. Still, Sidu just sitting so far back from Diabolus that it's just impossible for Asgrath to ever push him for that bash or Nixie to ever get on him for that kidney shot. So right now, just Trill and Mez sticking onto Alex, shutting him down, stopping these polymorphs.
Yeah, doing a really good job shutting him down. And one thing you want to take note of, actually, is that when Asgrath goes for a drink, usually teams will chase the healer to try to stop the drink. Instead, Method Orange, what they decide to do is do as much damage as they possibly can to Alec and Nixie and force Asgrath to come back into the fight. Grip over on the Asgrath into a double blind, wind shear on Alec. It's a, wow, beautiful cross CC, double leg sweep, hex on Alec, so Asgrath isn't able to dispel it. Ironbark on Nixie, but he has to trade the evasion too. Overlap of cooldowns there. Sidu caught into a full polymorph, maybe possibly able to reverse the pressure, but no kidney shot. Kidney shot actually over on the Sidu, and they're going to go on the Sidu.
Sidu pre-ghost wolfing that kidney shot. Great job. Alec instantly trying to spell steal that away there. That was another one of those solid pushes, like we just said. Asgrath with that no trinket. The second he comes out into the open, Mez is right there with the grip. Double disorient. Trill follows it up with a stun. But right now, Sidu kind of just sitting out in the middle of the map here in that Earthen Totem by him, instantly getting back to the pillar. Good positioning by him, now well out of Alec's range. He should be just fine here.
Even though Diabolus haven't been doing consistent goes, I would say, and forcing a lot of cooldowns, I think this is somewhat in their favor because deep into damping, the Rogue Mage should be able to kill Mez through his cooldowns because AMS is affected by damping, so it's Death Strike. They should be able to make something happen here. Innervate used by Asgrath, trying to stay up in mana, but Sidu also keeping up in mana, doing a very good job. Triple DR sheep on the Mez, so keep a note that Mez is on DR for Polymorph. They won't be able to peel him on their next go. Fist of Fury by Trill, not really doing too much damage. Good feint by Nixie. Full kidney over on the Trill, pressure actually being reversed right now. Trill dipping to 50% HP, no Earthen Totem available. Possibly having to trade the Touch of Karma, but his tank trinket does proc here. Double leg sweep, really good again by Method Orange. Beautiful grip leg sweep. Wind shear on Alec as soon as it comes out of that. Pillar of Frost pop. And not too much pressure coming up by Method Orange.
A lot of the European Mage Rogue teams, when they seem to fight Method Orange, I think the way that Method Orange decides to play their Windwalker DK comp is they really like to sit back behind the pillar, and I think it honestly throws teams like Diabolus off because they're not exactly sure which target to be hitting or where exactly to put the pressure because the positioning from Method Orange makes it so difficult to actually keep any sort of consistent damage going out, just the way how they're always 40 yards apart, the cooldowns are always there. Trill, it's impossible to triple CC, so someone is always available to stop the damage coming in.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that completely. I mean, look what happens when they do their go. Their go finishes, they come out of the kidney. If they have to use an Earthen Totem, they do. And then just walk behind a pillar, reset the pressure, and realize, hey, we'll just wait until leg sweeps back up, and we'll do our go again.
Just extremely safer, but Sidu actually pushing out here. Cheap shot, draw it off that. Beautiful in cap by Trill, stopping that follow-up kidney shot there, and Alec once again trying to follow, but it's just so hard for Alec to ever get to Sidu when he's positioning like this. And this is why it's so good, because it leaves Alec open, and then they don't have actually defensive blind coming out from Nixie here. I really don't know how I feel about that blind because they weren't able to actually hit anything in that. Just once again with this positioning here, Trill sitting in the middle of the map trying to do damage to anything that he can. Asgrath as well doing very, very well on mana right now. Both healers honestly managing to keep a huge chunk of their mana. 5 minutes of the game as dampening is beginning to ramp up here.
I think I'm starting to notice what Diabolus is doing is actually double X over into Alec and then Nixie actually, and a lot of cooldowns being popped. Nixie dropping dangerously low, and Alec actually, both of them dropping dangerously low. Alec having to trade the feint and the Cloak of Shadows, but Alec doesn't have to use an Ice Block there. Only Ironbark traded by Asgrath, still having his trinket. But I noticed Diabolus isn't even really doing goes. They're not CCing Sidu. All they're doing is kidney shotting Trill, pumping damage. I think their goal is to make it into damping. I mean, even with the defensive blind over on the Mez and not using on the Sidu, you could really tell that they think they win in dampening.
I'm kind of worried about this dampening strategy because we've seen 3 pushes now from Method Orange where they get that double disorient into the double leg sweep setup from Trill, and they're both going down to 20%, and as dampening ramps up, it's not going to be possible for Asgrath to just top both of his teammates like that. So right now, I'd really like to see Diabolus really try to focus in on what they want to attack here. It seems like Trill has been the target of choice, but they just haven't been able to actually get any follow-up crowd control on a Sidu or anything, or even actually force a single defensive cooldown from anyone on Method Orange so far.
The magic number I notice in most of the cups that we've seen before as Rogue Mage versus Windwalker Death Knight, it's 15%, right? So 15%, I'm expecting them to go into Mez, commit some kidney shots over in the Mez, get some cooldowns. As we say that, Alexu comes off in the Nixie, Iron Bark traded by Asgraf. He should be 100% fine. Still having the evasion. Vanish up in 30 seconds, blind up in 50, Troll caught into the kidney actually, trying to reverse the pressure, but during Mez's Pillar of Frost, this could be a little bit scary. Mez making his way over onto Alec. Really good juke by Alec on a polymorph. He's going to sheep up Mez now. Mez won't be able to play the game. And as I said, that Troll actually comes over, says nope, gets wind sheared by Sidu. Good wind sheared by Sidu over onto Alec, so Alec isn't able to blink away. He's caught on the Troll and Mez, who both Wraith Walk and Tiger Slash out of that Nova, and they stick on Alec.
I like that you mentioned the strategy. Generally in North America, the Mage Rogue teams would always swap to Death Knights as dampening got to about 20-ish% or so, because their self-healing is not actually enough to sustain through the Mage Rogue consistent pressure. But a lot of the European Mage Rogues have not even tried to implement that strategy. I don't know if that's because Sidu is bringing that Restoration Shaman as opposed to potentially the Druid Healer that we might normally see with that Windwalker DK. But we'll have to see what's going on, because Diabolus seems pretty set on just the consistent kidney shots on the Trill, such as one right now. Alec essentially just throwing down that Frozen Orb, trying to do as much pressure as possible. It's just so difficult for Alec to do anything, because Mez is just all over him the entire time, using those cooldown reduction talents as well, making it so hard for Alec to use any sort of blinks offensively and defensively at all. Nixie just instantly chains of ice the entire game. Anytime he starts to walk towards Sidu, Mez instantly realizes what's about to happen. Great job by Sidu, just always making sure he's sitting behind the pillar as far away from Alec as possible, because in theory, Nixie cannot actually just solo kill Sidu because he has those Ghost Wolf talents, making him very, very tanky. So if Alec can never connect, then it's kind of a wasted effort from Nixie. So
I mean, I don't know, man. Asgraf just got a full drink off. This seems to be in favor of Diabolus, to be honest. I mean, they have all of their cooldowns back. Nyx doesn't have Cloak of Shadows. Cloak of Shadows doesn't really affect anything too much. They should be fine for a while. I actually think in dampening, Sidu's team might be in a lot of trouble if they decide to go on Mez. Even Troll, relying on so much self-healing. Double execute by Troll, using his Storm, Wind, and Fire. Going on to Nixie. Nixie dropping around 50% HP. But not having to use anything but the feint there. I'm pretty sure Nixie's just going to reverse with the kidney shot right here over on the Troll, and they're going to get a lot of pressure. I'm not sure if Sidu's going to be able to heal through this if he gets counterspelled, so he needs to be careful with getting locked out. And as I said, he pops the Aura Mastery, of course, knowing that, hey, if I get counterspelled here, Troll's going to have to use Touch of Karma. It's going to be a lot of trouble for my team.
Yeah, dampening is starting to pick up here. Lots of damage coming out. Full blind onto Sidu. Beautiful job by Nixie when he has that opportunity to, because Sidu, as we can tell earlier, sitting so far away, so Nixie forcing his trinket out there. This could be a potential opening for a swap to Sidu, but it looks like Sidu is pushing you with the Malix onto out here. Lots of damage from Troll and Mez all over right now. Asgrath burning through his mana bar right now. No innovative able. Full kidney shot onto Sidu, trying to reverse the pressure. Great disarm from Troll onto Nixie, stopping this go here. Alec locked out on that polymorph now, can no longer blink away. And Mez, Troll, and Sidu are in a 3v1 situation. Asgrath using that Iron Bark onto Alec, potentially looking for a drink right now, realizing if they don't have any mana right now, they're dying soon.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, Alec's actually locked out right now, having the Ice Block. Really good plays by Method Orange. No Iron Bark available for Asgarath, actually. This is going to be really hard for Asgarath to heal through. I mean, Alec's stuck in the Ice Block. Nixie using Feint, possibly also having to use Evasion. As long as Troll and Mez do a good job staying on Alec, they can burn through Asgarath's mana and even out the mana advantage. One thing you want to keep in notice that Nixie is actually going over into Sidu so he doesn't get cleaved and Asgarath doesn't have to burn through his mana. And that way, Asgarath only really has to heal Alec because they both have to connect to him at the same time. Just grip double blind over into Asgarath and Alec. I want to see maybe a follow-up capacitor totem potentially, but if Nixie's aware, Nixie actually would have grown the Mez. There's the strategy I've been looking for. 33% dampening, decides to go on Mez. Mez only having AMS and AMZ. Sidu caught into a half polymorph. Mez is in a lot of trouble here, but so is Nixie in the grapple. Beautiful kick over on Alec, trying to stop the pressure, but Sidu caught in a full Cyclone. Where's the follow-up Cyclones? I want to see that from Asgarath. Asgarath not going for the follow-up clones, actually gets wind sheared on his regrowth. Both teams so low right now. Alec popping Icy Veins, maybe having used the second Ice Block. There's the Spirit Link. Kenny on the Mez again, but their team's still all around 60% HP. Alec around 40%. He's also locked out right now. He can't get away. Anti-Magic Zone. Mez has no cooldowns left available.
Yeah, Method Orange really just lots of damage going out here. Just basically fully sending it here. Sidu throwing the link out. Anti-Magic Zone has been used, doing everything they can to get pressure right now, realizing the direness of the situation. Alec under a lot of fire right now, only one block remaining. They did decide earlier to trade out that Ice Block for a big drink from Asgarath. Full incap on a Trill, damage onto Alec right now. Any follow-up CC looking for it right now. Great positioning by Asgarath getting away there. Double onto Alec and Nixie. Nixie using that trinket there, realizing cannot take much damage. Mez still so low. Full Cyclone onto Sidu. Trinket available, but only Earthen Totem to save him. Mez line of sight in the mage as much as he can. Nixie all over him right there. This is so bad. Someone needs to do something.
Oh, Mez might just actually go down right now unless Troll can somehow save him. I don't think Sidu has any cooldowns. I'm going to use Earthen Totem, but 40% in dampening. Mez can easily die through. He might have to trade out the anti-magic shell. Alec needs to get this polymorph on this very next go. Mez will 100% die. There's a full kidney shot over into Mez, or even land a counter spell right now. Sidu's going to have to cast at some point, and I believe he knows that. He has a grounding totem available to stop Alex's counter spell, but how is he going to stop Nixie? Full blind, actually. Can he follow up with possibly a sap if he gets a restealth or a polymorph? Even a half cyclone would be very dire for Mez. No CC follow-up off the blind.
Wow.
Instead, decides to cyclone Trill instead of Sidu. I feel like if the CC followed up on the Sidu, Mez easily would have gone down there, but they're still not out of the woods yet. Full kidney over into Mez. Kick over on Alec. Mez is going to go down as the Diabolus takes the first game.
Now to tie up this series.
All right, and we are on Dalaran Sewers here, the map pick from Method Orange, deciding to stick with that Windwalker Death Knight composition, probably feeling like that is their best option here. I think some things that they're probably going to try to do, they're going to make sure to never overcommit on a push like that, because things might seem like, wow, we really got to try to stay aggressive here and keep the damage up. But sometimes, in certain situations, that'll actually put you further behind in the game than you'd like. And strong opener onto Sidu here. Sap onto Trill, Sheep onto Mez. Sidu pre-Earthen Toteming this go. Great job by him denying the opener from Diabolus right now, keeping himself nice and healthy here. I would assume Trill and Mez looking to reverse the pressure right off this kidney shot orb. Looks like just trying to get out as much damage as possible right now, setting the pace of the game.
Yeah, this is basically a fake go. I mean, Diabolus, yes, they want to make it to dampening, but they do realize, hey, we can't just do absolutely nothing to make it there, or we'll just get ran over. So there's committing the kidney, throwing an orb, but they're not going to overcommit and go for crowd control over into Sidu. And I think this is a really smart pick by Sidu, actually, to stay with the Windwalker DK, just because this is Dalaran Sewers. There's going to be a lot more opportunities to grip in Asgrath and go for, like, a double blind, which they attempted to do right there, but I think Mez actually missed his blind. But Trill does get the double X over into Nixie and Alec. Very good. Kick over into Alec, not being able to cast. Iron Bark on Alec right now. He should be fine. I don't think they should get ice blocked from this, but I mean, if Trill does connect, maybe he'll be able to, but Trill gets Nova'd up. Nixie's just sticking on him, making sure it doesn't get to him. The kidney shot is coming very soon and try to reverse the pressure. Tiger's lost by Trill. Trill actually does use the Fortifying Brew offensively there with the touch of death to make sure it does more damage. Earthen Totem during the kidney shot. Very well played by Sidu, and I don't know, he won't have his Fortifying Brew for the next go or his Trinket, so he can get caught in a smoke bomb and die at Pico.
Yeah, Method Orange really looking to get aggressive here. It's just hard for them to get any real cooldowns out of here. Trill used the touch of death with every defensive cooldown. Sidu began to push in for the purges there, but just Asgrath so far away, unable to be kicked or crowd controlled even remotely now. And now Trill sheeped on the other side of the map along with Mez. Nixie back onto Sidu, but Sidu, nice pre-Ghost Wolf by him as well. It looks like Sidu is no longer spec. Oh no, Sidu is still playing the Ghost Wolf Town as well, realizing that he is still a very big kill target on this team. Right now, trying to get some pressure back rolling on Alec. It seems hard for when Method Orange can really try to push in. I don't know if they should be really trying this hard to kill them before dampening is even kicked in yet. I think it kind of puts them at risk, just exposing Sidu in the open, no pillar around him, and it leaves everyone open to crowd control.
I mean, maybe they know something we don't. Maybe deep in dampening, you know, Method Orange is actually unfavored and they realize that. But if they're going to commit, I feel like being on such a small map, gripping Asgrath, get the double stun off, potentially the triple, and get as much pressure as you can. I mean, there's a double blind, hopefully a double X sweep off that. Just like I called, double X sweep. They just need to do this over and over and over if they're going to pick this map in this composition, get early pressure out. Beautiful capacitor told him to follow up the leg sweep. Look at Asgrath right now. He has to use the Bark Skin. He has to expend so much mana. And then on top of that, he has to worry about healing Alec afterwards.
Yeah, Sidu actually caught into a kidney shot here. Anti-magic zone coming up from Mez there. Great defensive play. Sidu under a lot of pressure. Cheap shot off that Vanish. Peels are coming in. Triple cheap shots on the world. Triple DR bash from Asgrath. Trying to get that link here. Ascendance has been used. Lots of damage still on Sidu here. Mez doing everything he can. Locking down Alec. Landing those kicks. Instantly turning the pressure here. Caught in a Nova, unfortunately. Sidu cloned low by Asgrath.
Good
caught into a sheep. Nixie trying to get that re-stealth. Going for the Garrote stun off this clone. Does he get it? Vanishes for it. Unfortunately, Sidu got that Ghost Wall off. Great job by him. Ancestral shits have been used. Potentially, maybe a little preemptively here. Still very low right now on stun DR for a little bit longer. Trill caught in that kidney shot. Nixie giving up the kill on Sidu now. I kind of maybe would have liked to see them keep pushing on to Sidu there because he's actually in Alec's line of sight there. Asgrath looking to get a drink right now. When Mage Rogues are going offensive like this is the best time to be looking for drinks right here. There's no pressure at all on his team, and Asgrath easily gets mana back.
This can't happen on a map like this. They need to stop the drinks in order to have somewhat of an advantage, especially on a map as small as Dalaran. As long as they walk over towards Asgrath and move the fight over to him, one of them should be able to stop the drink, especially someone who has cooldowns like, let's say, Trill, for instance. But as I said, that Trill gets caught up in the kidney, Sidu caught in the bash. But the blind defensively really well played by Mez. Into the double X sweep, reverse pressure. Alec having to trick it and blink away with Iron Bark and Temporal traded overlap of cooldowns. But they might still get his ice block. I don't know. Alec gets kicked, not able to kite away. Mez's cooldowns and Trill, Storm, Wind, and Fire also pop. No CC on Asgrath, no in cap, no capacitor totem, nothing to follow it up. I feel like they should have pushed for more cooldowns there.
Yeah, Method Orange did get a lot of damage off there, but Asgrath countering it very well with that innervate there, making sure he's not expending any of that mana unnecessarily. Nixie under fire right now, using that feint, just basically trying to apply the dots out, trying to get some pressure rolling, making sure he's getting that energy regen from those bleed ticks right now. Lots of sheeps onto Mez. Method Orange pulling back here, realizing there's no point to be out there risking a kill right now because everything's on cooldown. Mez and Trill slightly pushing out onto Alec here, but Asgrath just 100% on the mana bar here, and I really think they got to try to focus on stopping those drinks, because that's why Method Orange picks a map like this, because it should be hard for Asgrath to be consistently just running around and drinking. Good Earthen Totem by Sidu on that Frozen Orb from Alec here. Still lots of pressure on the Nixie. Nice grip here to Disorient. I'd like to see the triple leg sweep. There it is right here. Lots of damage going out. Instantly trinking out of that, realizing the danger there. Asgrath capped out of that. Lots of damage here. Barks and Hughes. Great defensive blind by Nixie. Trill has no trinket, so he has to sit that one. Beautiful kick from Mez onto Alec there. Will there be a sap onto Trill out of that? Looks like there will not be. A good job by him maintaining combat. Asgrath still not out of the woods yet. Only Ironbark remaining. Oh, great heal by him, topping himself off. Good peels by Nixie with the cheap shot kitty there, and he'll be just fine.
That was a really, really nice blind by Nixie. I want to give him that. He blinded Trill on that go, saving Asgrath's trinket and his Ironbark, and making him not use as much mana to have to top himself right there. Really good blind over by Nixie. But I want to see that more. I want to see that more by Method Orange, because that's not always going to be available. You know, there are going to be times when Asgrath gets stunned, crits may follow up. He might not even be able to get the blind off in time, and then as long as they spam Purge, Deepen, and Dampening, I mean, Asgrath could easily die.
I think definitely the grip from Mez onto Asgrath into the leg sweep is a really good strategy. I think it's just very hard to deal with that, because Asgrath positioning always just 40+ yards max range healing his team. But I think Method Orange realized when you're playing a comp like Windwalker DK, anyone can die at any moment. There is so much damage from a Frostblade. On Nix right now, no trinket available, only evasion and vanish available from Asgrath. Sending out that Ironbark there, swapping Alec on the bark there, lots of damage. Sidu caught into that kitty shot, pre-earthens it, great job by him. This is the time to get aggressive. This is when you want to push him right now. Good damage on Nixie. Battlemaster's going to fall soon. Will chunk his HP bar. Sidu just easily fending off this attack.
This is exactly what I want to see. I want to see if the leg sweep isn't available for Asgrath because he's doing a really good job with positioning and standing max range, then grip Alec and then get the double leg sweep onto Alec and Nixie, because at some point in dampening, Asgrath isn't going to be able to heal through this. Nixie needs to be a little bit careful. He still has his evasion. Asgrath gone to the in-cap, the paralysis. Still having his Ironbark. Nixie dismantled on the go on to Sidu, really good. Anti-Magic Zone traded too, I'm not sure about that one. Actually, Mez did a great job respecting Alec's Icy Veins. Trades out the Anti-Magic Zone and says, hey, you don't have to use Trinket, you don't have to use Spirit Link. Sidu not necessarily out of the woods yet, sitting Ghost Wolf, trying to stay alive. And he's trying to get away from Nixie, but I think the one he wants to look out for is Alec, because at some point, Nixie will get to him and land the kidney shot. He needs to not be in Alec's line once he gets the kidney shot off, or he's going to go down.
Yeah, Nixie actually pushed in for the growth there and got it, but decided to not follow up for the kidney shot there, deciding to actually use it on Trill, bringing the game back into the open here, potentially trying to get some crowd control onto Sidu here. Cyclone onto Trill, on the trinket there from Asgrath. Ironbark has been used onto Alec here. Just full sheep onto Sidu, now stuck in the middle of the map. Trill could potentially be in some trouble here. Fortifying Brew, Nixie deciding to trade out that evasion on that touch of death go from Trill there. So I kind of would have liked to see the evasion held for the final kill. I don't think that was a totally necessary button, but lots of damage onto Alec here. Temporal Shield being traded out. Cyclones from Asgrath coming out onto Mez. Okay, it looks like the time has come to start attacking Mez here.
Oh yeah, 100%. They need to start going in Mez. Mez only has Icebound, no AMS for 25 seconds. Sidu caught up in a bash. Any follow-up CC? Full Cyclone, beautifully played. Mez actually in a lot of trouble. I mean, he still has his Icebound. He might have to press it kind of high. Sidu still has his Trinket Spirit Link. Not something you want to trade for an Icebound if potentially you're going to be able to hold the Spirit Link, because Spirit Link is the only cooldown that they have that could actually save them in dampening. Ascendance isn't going to do anything. Sidu's healing output's not going to do anything. Death Strike isn't going to do anything either. They need to try to hold the Spirit Link as long as they can for deep and dampening, but as I say that, Asgrath's mana is looking very, very dire.
This is exactly what Method Orange wants. Lots of damage on Alec, sheep onto Mez, blind onto Trill, kidney shot onto Sidu. Great job, Asgrath, getting that drink right now. Every time that blind is up, Asgrath is instantly ready to go drink, realizing he needs a mana. Huge drink from Asgrath here. Wow. I feel like that was... I think that was very brutal that they couldn't stop that. I feel like Method Orange really had the upper hand there with the mana, but unfortunately not. Alec forced into that ice block, trading out the drink for it. I think at this point in the game, I think that's a worthy trade. That's
definitely a worthy trade. Only having one ice block deep in the dampening. As I said, Sidu gets caught up in the kidney shot. Actually, pre-healing ties out. I'm not sure if that's going to keep him up. Cyclone decently low just because he knows, hey, Sidu could just Ghost Wolf. He'll be 100% fine here. So instead he Cyclones him low. Maybe waits for the kidney shot DR to come back. But I mean, no follow-up Cyclones. Trill caught into a polymorph.
they're actually both connecting on the Alec right now on the very dangerous point in Dampling. 26%, only one ice block available. You can see the cold snaps on cooldown for 7 minutes. And Alec dipping into 50%. No Iron Bark traded, really good by Asgraf noticing, hey, you don't need Iron Bark here. Full kidney shot over to Mez. Mez now having the anti-magic shell and anti-magic zone available. With Sidu having Trinket and Spirit Link. This isn't looking too bad for Method Orange, but they need to start doing the double X sweep goes soon.
Yeah, I'm definitely worried. Method Orange still doing very well on mana and defensive cooldown-wise. They just got to get one of those major grips onto Asgrath into the leg sweep from Triller to keep the pressure going. Things are still looking a little rough and a lot of damage. Big shatter from Alec there. Still kind of low. Ascendance to use. Sidu looking to get aggressive here. Full kidney shot onto Mez right now. Could be in trouble here. Great kick by Trill, stopping that polymorph.
Oh no!
Oh, Sidu's locked. Bringing Fist of Trill. Solo AMS has been used. Fist of Fury coming out from Trill, trying to do anything he can. Double leg sweep there. Lots of damage. Sidu's still caught in that sheep right now.
Trill really did a great job reversing the pressure there. Right there in that kick, Mez easily could have gone down, but Trill with the double legs even to the dismantle over to Nixie into the kick on Alec, really showing why he won BlizzCon last year. Alec stuck in the kick right now. He might have to trade the Ice Block. Beautiful capacitor totem. As Method Orange falling behind in pressure, you can tell they're such an experienced team just reversing the pressure in such a dire situation. But Mez maybe having to trade the Icebound there. Pre-Erlen totem by Sidu, but Maledict connected on the Mez. Full Cyclone over to Sidu. Sidu still having his Trinket, but no Spirit Link available. Possibly having the Trinket. He actually decides not to into the cheap shot. Mez is still very dangerously low. He's stuck in a growth. He can't Icebound right now. He's out playing Trinket. He gets Sidu. He gets polymorphed on his Trinket.
Oh my goodness.
Down. Wow. That's so...
In 2019.
A really huge key factor, and Holy Death Knights are so disruptive. And as long as he's stopping Alex on the goes and Dampling, I mean, maybe they'll be able to turn it around. But I haven't seen a Death Knight play on Holy since before the nerfs. It's been so long. Let's see what Method Orange has up their sleeves, I guess.
Yeah, Method Orange deciding to bring back this composition. What actually happened was Mage Rogue has evolved to the point where it used to beat the Unholy Death Knight. So the reason why you see all these Death Knights trying out that Frost specialization is because people actually think you can consistently beat Rogue Mage, but that clearly isn't the case here. So full sheep onto Sidu, kidney shot onto Trill, trying to get some pressure rolling. Mez, a nice asphyxiate stun onto Nixie. They're denying the go here. Cyclone coming in onto Sidu, good follow-up there. Trill under a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, I mean, Mez calling the polymorph, and here we see it again. They're actually going for a go this time early into the game, forcing Trill at about 30% HP, but Trill just flying serpent kicks away, heals himself behind the pillar. Sidu doesn't have to worry about him, but Sidu needs to start worrying about himself. Calling to a kidney shot, dipping to 30%, half bash off that. Polymorph over on Trill, tank trick, it does proc by Sidu, stuck in a growth right now. Sidu's in a lot of trouble, has no wall, nor Erlen totem, no Spirit Link already this early into the game. This is looking really bad, Pika.
Yeah, though, Nixie and Alec are just all over Sidu right now. There's no chance of getting away right now, trying to Ghost Wolf and kite it out. Nixie gets Chains of Ice by Mez, does sprint freedom away from that. Great job staying on top of him. Next kidney shot onto Sidu, could be a Trinket right here. This is it. Any chance of Dispel on the Ghost Wolf? There it is right there. Nice Dispel by Alec there. In cap by Trill onto Nixie. Still, DR Chiefs on Sidu into full growth. Trinkets the growth.
Oh my God. Wow.
Potential to almost outpick themselves. So that's going to be something on our minds immediately here. They have the Rogue Mage Druid. Instead, they're actually opting for the Death Knight Windwalker, which maybe it's genius. We're about to find out.
Yeah, I think for Morrow, this is going to be a struggle. He's going to be trained down by a Windwalker and a Frost Death Knight, and he doesn't have the flexibility of having 2 ice blocks, additional Novas that the Frost Mage would have. So for Morrow, staying on target is going to be really, really difficult, and I think Blizzard's going to have to really help him out as well. Looney, it's going to be up to him to land a lot of the crowd control onto Chaz. He's going to have to push in for paralysis leg sweeps, because Morrow on his own with the Frost Death Knight on him, I don't think he's going to be getting too much done.
Yeah, certainly this is going to be a tough game for Morrow. We've talked about the best mages. Swapsy stole the Dragon's Breath, denied the sheep with Morrow's own Dragon's Breath, so a very nice play from him. We've talked about him being a top caliber Death Knight over and over again. Big damage on Morrow early game. The Life Cocoon is going to be forced out there. And I mean, for Method Black, they 100% knew which composition Wildcard was locking. It's the only thing they've seen success against the Rogue Mage with. So this is their perfect counter pick for the blind. If it doesn't work, most likely we're going back to the Rogue Mage. But as you say, Frost Death Knight's so good into the mages, they have an unrelenting amount of pressure early game.
Yeah, and I really feel like as that mage, unless you have a Restoration Druid really backing you up, you can't do anything. I mean, look at Morrow. He's been shut down the entire game. He's just a punching bag at this point. There's no peels inside. Blizzo actually maybe soloing Chaz. What is going on? Morrow getting low in the meantime. I'm not sure if the cauterized proc, I don't think it did. And that is going to be an ice block. Massive damage on Blizzo, almost carrying the game completely, taking down Chaz. Unfortunately, wasn't able to find it. Now Morrow is the one on the back foot.
Yeah, certainly Blizzo, if he'd managed to land the kill there, that would have been truly incredible. Soloing a Restoration Druid as an Arms Warrior is a feat that shouldn't be achievable, but now he's Bladestorming on the entirety of Method Black, looking to send them back into the lower bracket whilst dropping low fortifies, Transcendence away, now peeling with the grapple weapon there on Blizzo, shutting him down as much as they can. Obviously for Method Black, they have so much damage going. If they can just stay alive, they will most likely win this one. Maro now, no ice block. Looney's going to get crowd controlled for a very long time here by the Mage Druid.
Yeah, stolen sheep by Swapsy. Nicely done. Looney into a polymorph and then into a cyclone. Method Black, they're on fire in this matchup so far. There's no openings. Chaz has the bark skin rotated back up as well as his Iron Bark. Waz did a really good job when he was in trouble. Transcendence away, only really committed the Fortifying Brew, and for Wildcard Gaming, they need to try to find an opening. Right now, there is a slight mana lead for Looney, and that is something they might be able to maintain, but I don't know what Blizzle's going to be able to do. The thing is, if he comes back and tries to attack Swapsy and Waz, all of a sudden there is massive cleave damage in favor of Method Black.
Yeah, certainly. That's the thing that Method Black's playing for. And I mean, even if Raiki's not in the game, Swapsy's providing just as much crowd control. Chaz caught up in a full count spell right now, but still pushes in, gets the Mighty Bash on Looney. Do they have follow-up? Has Swapsy stolen anything? It doesn't look like it on this occasion. Maro able to juke that out. Scorch is coming in. He's just a sitting potato right now. He can't really do anything in this situation. He has two melees just pummeling into him. He can't really get the damage out. Life Cocoon's going to be the next defensive cooldown. In terms of mana, I'm actually super impressed that it's even close, but in terms of health, Method Black are dominating.
Yeah, they absolutely are, and this is the problem. Blizzo taking so much cleave damage from Method Black. Looney doing a good job topping them all off. I think Chaz is actually sitting down for a drink, managed to recover a little bit of his mana. And Maro does stabilize. Still 3 minutes left on that Ice Block. He has the Cauterize. That's going to be really important for him if he does end up surviving this. Nice Ring of Frost, controlling up a lot of Waz's burst damage on that Storm, Earth, and Fire. Nicely done, trying to get a little bit of control of the game. But that Ring of Peace is going to be... That actually really didn't get too much done there. Actually, it was Looney's Ring of Peace. So the fact that Looney has that frees up Maro just a little bit in the match, and that's something that Mistweaver Monk does provide. That utility is nice. Combustion gets pulled out. Waz responds with the Fortifying Brew. He should be fine.
Yeah, certainly he's got to help Maro as much as possible. Good Fortifying Brew from Waz, though, will deny any kind of counter pressure here. Blizzo is chomping through him, though. The Disarm expires, so he's going to be doing maximum damage once again. Temporal Shield from Maro, well timed during the crowd control on Looney. Life Cocoon, therefore, is stalled until 3 minutes left on the Ice Block. Method Black suddenly starting to take a lead. I'm super impressed still by Looney's mana management, but it might not matter. The Cauterize comes through as Maro is going to use the movement increase from that to get away, but Waz also super low, does have the Touch of Karma available. Chaz's mana certainly isn't too much better than Looney's, and Waz is taking an incredible amount of damage. Blizzo is taking this game on his shoulders, and he's trying to fight back for Wildcard.
He absolutely is, and Waz needs to be careful in this situation. He's got the Touch of Karma, doesn't want to throw away the game. He can safely apply it on Maro, doesn't have the Ice Block to remove it, but he's also... I mean, that's a lot of confidence in Chaz in that moment. He was so close to getting executed down by Blizzo. Definitely a close call for Method Black. Paralysis now over on the Looney. Waz looking to get some control of the match. The double blinding sheet, triple blinding sheet. Waz getting storm bolted on his Fists of Fury. Blizzo trying to do everything he can, but Maro just has no mobility. The Delirium Heartstop aura from Swapsy really limiting Maro's ability to escape this situation, and he's just being tunneled down in this match. Swapsy and Waz able to put out so much pressure, but Wildcard Gaming have managed to hold on. Yeah,
it's looking still pretty good for Wildcard Gaming in terms of just the fact that they're actually surviving. You always have this like small thought, especially when Method Black aren't on the Rogue Mage, that maybe Wildcard can win this. They're not dead until you actually see 3 members out of the arena. And I mean, because of Blizzo especially, I still get the feeling that one stun on Waz could end it all. We see an intimidating shout. Unfortunately, they weren't able to find that over onto Chaz, but it did work very functionally as a peel. Maro does have his Ice Block immunity cooldown coming up in about 50 seconds, and Looney in the backline's actually looking for a drink right now. So if Maro can peel for himself, this could be a huge momentum swing. Chaz is pushing in, trying to deny, able to do so with that Ursul's Vortex, then the Cyclone forces Trinket. Maro still doesn't have Ice Block for such a long time because of the Heartstop aura from Swapsy denying those cooldowns. Looney had to use Trinket. His mana's behind. Chaz is getting, I mean, he's getting thumped a little bit by Blizzo in the backline, but nothing he can't deal with in this situation. Maybe Blizzo's going to have to come back, get damage over onto Waz to keep them in the fight.
Yeah, Maro has the Temporal Shield available. He uses it. A huge hit from the Touch of Death of Waz. paired with that Fortifying Brew, but Looney's able to heal through. Big damage now over onto Chaz. He's used the Bark Skin, he's used the Iron Bark. Good pressure here for Wildcard Gaming. I like the strategy adaptation. Maro and Looney just trying to control up Waz and Swapsy, while Blizzo creating a lot of pressure, and if Chaz comes to the line of sight, all of a sudden that's a Kleptomania spell steal. What Maro's able to assist him with a little bit of damage, and with the strategy, Wildcard Gaming, they're still in it. I think it's going to be difficult. Maybe at some point in the game they can go after Swapsy if dampening gets high enough, but I think Wildcard Gaming's running out of time.
Yeah, the split strategy is something we've seen a lot against the Frost Death Knights, because Frost Death Knights do such a great amount of kind of spread pressure with the chill streak. They have just a lot of AoE, so if the Warrior's not there, it means that only Mara needs to get healed. And given Looney's mana, I think that's the only real option they have here, just to kind of shut down AoE damage coming in from Method Black. But still, it does feel like the longer this one goes, Wildcard Gaming, you know, Looney doesn't have any mana left. Mara just had to use his Ice Block. He's not going to have another one of those as we're at 15% dampening. He's just got to go for the kill on Chaz. He's blinking forward, trying to get damage. Full counter spell, very nicely played. This is a huge potential for Wildcard Gaming. The Maledict push, that's the Battle Master, but it's not going to, it's going to fall at some point, and Chaz has to recover before then.
Yes, Blizzo, he's trying to stay on target. Maro getting low in the meantime. Looney throws out the Life Cocoon as they are all in on Chaz. He's got no Bark Skin, he's got no Iron Bark. What is he going to do? Blizzo just needs to get on top of him, but he can't. Beautiful disable snare by Waz onto Blizzo, really limiting his mobility. The paralysis still. Chaz just line of sighting using this pillar beautifully, and it's Maro that just cannot get on target. Beautiful peels from Method Black. What a scary situation. Wildcard Gaming still fighting to the bittersweet end of this match, potentially. Maro, that was his second Ice Block, and I think it's so unlikely we see him get a third in this match.
What WMChi and I were saying before this series is if Wildcard Gaming wins this series, it would be truly the most incredible thing we've ever seen, because they were completely counting themselves out at the start, and Method Black has been domination throughout the entirety of 2019. Looney, sometimes he does the impossible, and here, once again, looking to do so. Trinkets out, has Life Cocoon available to keep Mara again in the fight. I can't believe we're still saying that at 23% dampening. Chaz has no mana. Swapsy is a Death Knight in deep dampening. We've seen team after team kill those at 23% dampening. Touch of Death is up for Waz. If they don't get Mara with this Touch of Death, I think Swapsy falls, but they do get him a huge crit from that Touch of Death, and Method Black secure game one.
Method Black is going to secure game one, but I have to... I don't see any robots. I just see smiley faces in the chat right now. So if you guys know any WoW playing robots, be sure to have them hit us up, because they'd probably be good at the games. But right now we're looking at two teams that are definitely insane at the game, Wildcard Gaming and Method Black.
We might not be robots, but on this map we will find out who are the true Kulterans. We're here at Hook Point for game two between Wildcard Gaming and Method Black, and of course Method Black, they did go for the blind Rogue Mage Druid. Wildcard Gaming answering with their Warrior Mage Monk. Now this will be the true test. How does this game go? If this really is an even matchup, then Wildcard Gaming are onto something. They just have to have a good blind pick, a good answer for the Windwalker Death Knight, and they could take this entire tournament. But in the early stages, Maro's falling behind.
Yeah, Maro getting lower and lower. Kidney shot on Looney. They've already got his Trinket, but the Life Cocoon connects, and we've seen Wildcard Gaming do a good job. They did manage to beat Diabolus in sort of this matchup between the Warrior Mage Monk and the Rogue Mage Druid. Raikou falling further and further behind. He's in execute range. Dangerous. Chaz goes to the Cyclone onto Blizzo, manages to find it, and as a result, Raikou's able to hold on to that precious Ice Block.
Yeah, very, very nice Cyclone from Chaz, and that's the best Druids, right? The best Druids will go for that Cyclone instead of going for the kind of desperation healing there. Such a good identification from him, because, you know, any amount of regrowths in execute range, and Raikou's probably just going to press his Ice Block. He's not going to risk that. So very nicely done by Chaz. Method Black in commanding position in this game, though, to be honest, Wildcard Gaming do have good lifelines. Blizzo has just been such a good force. You can see him blade storming out of the sheeps, min-maxing that. He waited for Looney to dispel the first one, then put himself on DR by blade storming just after the sheep landed. Definitely making sure that he's using every single tool in the warrior kit at the very best ability. Looney without Trinket right now. If Raikou can get over there, he can easily get crowd control, but Blizzo is just snaring him up. Looney using that Mistweaver pick has been so good this tournament. Look at how he's able to kite. Chaz runs over, he transcends away, constantly line of sighting both members, now finally gets caught up in that Mighty Bash. Let's see what Method Black can get done.
Yeah, let's see what they can do. War Banner dropped out by Blizzo. He's trying to limit the crowd control. Nicely done on the kitty shot of Maro and the polymorph onto Looney, but Maro getting low. Temporal Shield. Nicely timed by Maro. He does a really good job of using the Temporal Shield, and if his Cauterize is going to proc, he uses his Blazing Barrier in order to deny that and actually get the heal from Temporal Shield. So it's something I've noticed him do. It's really good heads-up defensive play. Now getting aggressive with the Combustion. Decent damage over onto Raikou as he kites away to the safety of Chaz, looking for Cyclones, but Blizzo looks for the Spell Reflect. Chaz doesn't fall for it and manages to get the control onto Blizzo, top off Raikou. Method Black is now on the offensive. Maro's just being trained down in this matchup by Waz. Raikou making sure he and Chaz, their main goal is to just limit Blizzo's damage as much as possible in this match and eventually, slowly but surely, take down Maro.
Yes, certainly Method Black have had the most control in this game, and that's what you expect, right? With the Rogue Mage, the Rogue has so much control over the game with the kidney shots. Here, once again, we see that happening, but when Wildcard do get momentum, it's crazy. Like, that was one counter spell onto Chaz, and Raikou might have to ice block. He actually gets pummeled here on the Arcane score, and they do force the ice block through the Iron Bark. That's what I'm talking about with Wildcard Gaming. They make the best of their composition. One counter spell, one in-cap from the Monk, and that's an ice block forced from Raikou. So incredible in terms of just raw pressure coming out from Blizzo. He's top damage, I believe, in the game. Yes, he is currently slightly over Waz. He's been such a driving force for Wildcard Gaming, but in the meantime, Method Black, they have so many crowd control options. Once again, swapping to Looney. This could be it.
He's in so much trouble. Kidney Shot, Bash, Cheap Shot, Garrote Silence. The Fortifying Brew, is it going to be enough for him to survive? Intimidating Shout maybe saves the day. He needs a few more seconds on the Life Cocoon, but he gets the heals he needs, and Chi torpedoes away to safety. The mobility on the Mistweaver Monk really paying dividends, but Waz still all over him. Blizzo and Maro, they need to help him out. I don't know if Looney's going to be able to survive. Still cutting away, paralysis onto Waz, but the Shadow Step Kidney Shot, this could just be it. I think Looney's going to fall. The Dragon's Breath,
no way!
Life Cocoon! Hero plays by Maro, keeps him alive.
I cannot believe it. Looney was so greedy not to use the Life Cocoon before that stun. Maro saves the day. Counterspell now. Waz is being snared up by Blizzo. Blizzo also all over that one. There's no counterspell, so if they can just kite away from Waz, Looney should be able to stabilize, but just kiting away from Waz, not the easiest of tasks. A well-positioned Ring of Peace is going to deny as Waz goes back to Maro, but what a stellar play from Wildcard Gaming to stay in the match. Mana still slightly in their favor. If they can keep playing off these heroic game changes that they have been doing, maybe in the long run they actually win this one. They have one ice block down on Raikou. Chaz's mana's at 50%. It's a small map. Blizzo has uptime. This is not looking too bad, but it's so scary.
It really is. Looney and a Bash into a Ring of Frost once again. War bannered by Blizzo. And if there's any warrior you want backing you up, it is going to be Blizzo. Looney forced to use his trinket on the blind. Combustion. This could be the second ice block from Raikou. Massive damage. Chaz gets caught into a leg sweep. Good control here by Looney as he pushes forward. Is it going to be the ice block through Iron Bark? It looks like he has enough healing with the Temporal Shield, and Raikou manages to survive barely. That was a good offensive push by Wildcard Gaming. If we look at mana, still relatively even for both these teams, and this is really back and forth, Adrian.
This has been a legendary game so far, and I mean, these are two teams that we've talked about it. We've called it so many different names this series. Wildcard Gaming versus Method Black, the Rogue Mage team against the anti-Rogue Mage team. There's been so much history between these two guys. They, of course, were the grand finalists in the summer finals last year, now playing a feast of a series for us in the upper bracket. Low, second ice block comes out, huge burst once again, but they're trying to reverse it onto Looney. This was the perfect time, honestly, to force the ice block, because now Raikou is doing no damage in what could have been, again, another kill attempt over onto Looney. Chaz still not out of crowd control, and Raikou's still low on health.
Yep, that's the Iron Bark and the Temporal Shield. If they can continue this pressure, they might be able to just take Raikou down. Wildcard Gaming, are they going to tie up the series? Are they really going to beat Method Black's Rogue Mage Druid? This would be an absolute miracle. Right now, Maro's in a kidney shot. Nice control from Chaz, getting the Cyclone, trying to top off his team, but Raikou in a position where he doesn't have an ice block for another minute and 45 seconds. Maro getting low. Big damage coming in from Waz and Raikou. Both these mages are in trouble, but it's Maro that still has the safety net of that ice block.
Yeah, so many have tried, so many have fallen, but Wildcard Gaming lead the game. Raikou in execute range, the sheep's coming in, but it's a Pyro Blast from Maro, and we've got a tied game.
That has been a big thing by him, but so far Wildcard in this series has looked like individually the most skilled team in World of Warcraft right now, completely skilled capped on their classes. Will that be enough on Tolvaron?
Yeah, let's see what happens. Right now, it is going to be the Demon Hunter Death Knight? Demon Hunter Death Knight into the Warrior Mage Paladin. Interesting counter pick. I feel like a lot of this comes down to the fact that Looney is playing the Paladin, and they do feel like the Frost Death Knight, the Demon Hunter, those are two classes that do excel at not only taxing Looney's men on the Paladin, but also potentially just taking him down during the game. So I don't mind this pick, but this is something Method Black does quite often, is they fall trapped to playing these alternate compositions, and if they win, it's going to look genius, but if they lose, it's going to look really foolish. Yeah, and I mean, the thing was, when it came to the Mage, Warrior, Monk composition, we actually thought the Monk was a big reason why it was actually doing well into the Rogue Mage, because Looney was able to kite, avoid crowd control. Paladins are stationary, so they could have potentially locked the Rogue Mage into this. Raikou is going to be tested heavily on his Demon Hunter here. We've talked about him versus Trill on the Demon Hunter. I personally think he's up there with him, but we haven't seen him as much on this class, of course, because of the team's success with other compositions. Raikou now on the Demon Hunter. He's going to be the focus target for Wildcard Gaming. He didn't have a great deal of fun with Blizzard on Warrior on his Mage. Let's see if it's a bit better on the DH. Yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. Swapsy and Raikou are putting out massive damage, and Looney's kind of struggling. He's already used the Divine Shield. I'm not sure why he traded out his Divine Shield, but he did. And now Marl's still in a situation where he's low. The pressure from Method Black is huge in this match, and they're developing a momentum lead, a mana lead, and I think maybe this pick was the answer for Method Black. Yeah, it's certainly looking good. I think the Divine Shield, the way that Method Black's playing is just for the mana rift win condition, so Looney probably is trading that out to preserve his mana, using stuff on cooldown, which I think is a respectable choice, the way it's playing out. But of course, Method Black with a Demon Hunter on their team, Looney could be a viable kill target as well, so that's something they might consider going for in the future. Raikou, though, instead, they have a very kind of spring season playstyle here. Go for the mana rifts, go for the kill. Let's see if Wildcard Gaming have the spring season answer, which was start to attack the Restoration Druid. You can see Blizzo already kind of gunning for that. They don't have a feral affinity of their own on the team, but with a Holy Paladin, I do believe they should have the kind of elongation, like the ability to drag out the game, potentially find a kill on Chaz if Blizzo and Maro can find kind of one of those one-shot opportunities. Yeah, we'll have to see. For Wildcard Gaming, I don't know if I like this pick very much in blind. I don't know if the Paladin offers the same sort of flexibility as the Mistweaver Monk with the Warrior Mage, but we'll have to see how it works out. So far, the game is looking really good for Method Black. They're developing leads all over the place. There's decent pressure on Swapsy right now, but I think Chaz should be able to easily heal him up. And on this large map, with Maro's mobility being limited, I feel like Chaz is always going to be able to drag away. Looney's always going to have to cross the midfield, and this is when he gets gripped into the Chaos Novas. This is just perfect setup for Method Black. Yeah, they've landed every single mana rift so far. Method Black, you can tell this is an incredibly prepared team here. They have everything on lockdown in terms of compositions. Wildcard Gaming, though, have shown sheer class here this weekend, and they are looking to brute force their way to the grand finals. Blizzo on the Warrior, chunking away at Chaz, but the Bear Form Druid, presumably he's running the Guardian Affinity as well. No reason for Feral or Moonkin in this matchup, so he will be incredibly tanky into Blizzo on that Warrior. He's going to have a lot of armor. You can see him just kind of free casting right now. Jukes out the kick or not. The kick is landed by Blizzo. Very well done by him. But Looney, I mean, the story for him is that blue bar, 30% remaining. Every single mana rift is 8%. Roughly at the point dampening starts, if he doesn't have a mana pool, Wildcard Gaming are going to struggle in this one. I mean, they're struggling right now, even when he does have mana, so I can only imagine what it's going to be like when he's completely tapped, which is almost an inevitability at this point. I feel like he's never going to get to sneak away for a drink. One more Fell Eruption into a mana rift. He actually trinkets out to avoid it. And Looney's doing the best he can, trading out the Everyman for himself, the Divine Shield to avoid those mana rifts, but there's just no pressure. Right now, Blizzo's just sitting behind the pillar trying to attack Raikou, but Raikou's just healing himself up. He's completely fine. Finally, a disarm coming in from Blizzo to slow him down just a little bit, but Swapsy knows exactly what he needs to do in this matchup. He's just going to sit on Maro, put out as much damage as he can, keep him snared up, keep Delirium, Heartstop Aura on him, and really limit Maro's mobility and his ability to actually get the crowd control they need onto Chaz in order to win the game, because unless they get crowd control, I don't see them taking anyone down. Certainly, and Looney actually, he's going for an interesting play here. He's going for the drink. Of course, Paladins, actually, one of the nice things is that you can dispel diseases, so the Death Knight is going to have a harder time
keeping you in combat. Very nicely identified by Looney. He actually sat down for a couple of ticks there. It does cost them the ice block though. Mara dropping very, very low, has to trade out that significant defensive cooldown, and suddenly Method Black, you know, they have a lot of openings in this game. They have the Mana Rift, they have Blizzo low, Arms Warriors don't have much self-healing after the nerfs to defensive Azerite traits I think around about a month ago. So there are 3 open targets for Method Black. There's a mana win condition, but Wildcard Gaming, to their credit, their health bars are stable. Looney still has a fair bit of mana, and that was a really nice drink. So using the big map to their advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Looney doing a really good job, but that was a really nice play we need to call out by Swapsy. Looney sat down for the drink. He went for the huge heal with the Divine Favor. Swapsy actually gripped it and then blinded it, so Marl was forced to use the ice block. That was a great play. Now Chaz actually getting targeted down, and maybe Blizzo going after Chaz a little bit more. With the addition of a Hammer of Justice from Looney, I could see them really getting some pressure, but the main problem is just Morrow. His Shimmer is such a long cooldown that he can't get on top of Chaz. Finally, with the Freedom, trying to stay on target, and that's the one thing the Holy Paladin brings, which is nice, is that Blessing of Freedom allows Morrow a little bit more room to maneuver around the map, and if they can, you know, pull that off, stay on top of Chaz, they might be able to take him down.
And we see another Mana Rift coming in. That's going to be the Divine Shield by Looney, so the immunity cooldown is used. Raiku's actually been tunneling down Looney, and Looney has been doing a really, really good job of just keeping his health pool high, because I've seen a lot of Paladins, when a Demon Hunter tries to 1v1 them, just kind of fall over, whether it be in 2v2, 3v3. So Looney, this isn't an easy task, just kind of surviving Raikou. Maybe he's faking out some of the kicks, it's hard to tell, but either way, he's doing a stellar job. Swapsy now connecting, and that's going to be a tough ask for Looney. We see the Hand of Sacrifice was used there as well, with the Divine Shield, so there was no redirect on the damage, but the mana is low, the health is low. Avenging Wrath is up. It's the last line of defense here for Looney on that poor little Holy Paladin. 11% dampening as Method Black look to close the game.
Yeah, Looney out of line of sight, but almost completely tapped on mana. Chaz in a Stormbolt. Do they have the damage to start getting some pressure rolling? He's in bear form, and Chaz has been doing a really good job, as he has been the main pressure point in these matchups. He has to play well defensively, rotate through his defensives, try to stay out of line of sight, and he's been doing his job perfectly. Right now, 7 minutes into the game, 13% dampening, and at some point in the game, Wildcard is going to be able to go after Swapsy when they need to. Right now, Chaz is the main point of contention. They need to pressure him down, but later on, if they can go after Swapsy and Deathstrike's healing is limited via dampening, then Wildcard Gaming could end up getting a kill, but it's just a matter of if they have enough time. I mean, look at Looney's mana. He's 50% health right now. He's got no defensive cooldowns. He's completely tapped. He needs to go for a drink, but he's caught in midfield, and Raikou and Swapsy are looking to finish out this game.
Yeah, I actually like the Stormbolt swaps from Blizzo. This is something we've seen in the past against the Mana Rift strategy. Time the Stormbolt with the stun on Looney to mitigate the number of Mana Rifts. And since Looney is so low on mana at this point, those mana regeneration essences are going to be super, they're going to start kicking in, they're going to be very effective. So denying Mana Rifts at this point is key for Wildcard Gaming's success in the game. 20% dampening. They actually have enough dampening now that I think they could kill the Demon Hunter or potentially the Death Knight. You see Blizzo opting to cleave a little bit more rather than tunneling down Chaz. They actually have some mana pressure on the Restoration Druid as well. It's down to Looney. How well can he survive? Uses the Holy Avenger, unable to be purged because of that Stormbolt. Darkness comes out, counterspell on Raikou. Almost saw the end of his life. Now the Hammer of Justice, no reverse magic. Is there a Blinding Light to follow? There is. Looney
just die.
Excellent job. The Trinket comes in. Raikou has nothing left. Wildcard Gaming could take the swing match.
They definitely could. Raikou almost in execute range. Finally a big heal landing from Chaz, but Blizzo, Looney, Morrow, all 3 of them are in trouble. What is Looney going to do? He's got no mana. He's trying to run. He's trying to hide, but Raikou and Swapsy are in hot pursuit. Looney manages to find some heals, still trying to get behind the pillar. Intimidating shout. Beautifully done by Blizzo, just trying to slow down Method Black a little bit longer, but I feel like Method Black, they've found their stride. If they could take down Raikou, maybe. I just don't know how Looney can live much longer.
I can't believe he's still alive right now, to be honest, Ben. The Avenging Wrath falls off. That's the last defensive cooldown. There's a Raikou, there's a Swapsy, there's
Looney's
a Method Black looking to go 2-1 up in the series. Looney knows it, and Method Black are 1 game for the grand
The final moments of the game, we see
them here, but I mean, they are watching these other European squads very close.
Yeah, the stakes are right in our face right now. We're going to be settling all of that here today. You don't want to miss any of it, but right now, Method Black on match point, trying to close out this series and get to the grand final.
Yeah, and Waz in stealth right now. Who is he going to open on? In the last game, Wildcard Gaming, they really focused their attention on Raikou, just shutting him down, allowing Blizzo high amounts of uptime. Morrow on the Fire Mage, playing the Concentrated Flame as well. It's just big damage in burst windows onto Raikou if they get any crowd control on Chaz. Right now, Looney into a Polymorph. Morrow is the main target of choice. Method Black going to be committing a lot of their kidney shots there, trying to take him down. But keep in mind, they also made some good swaps onto Looney in the last game, so that's something they could be looking out for in this game.
Yeah, certainly Waz will want to be tricky in this one, maybe swaps to Looney. Actually, one thing we haven't really seen is swaps to Blizzo, but certainly Arms Warriors can die. The deeper the game goes into dampening as well, something to consider. But in the early game, shutting down Morrow, getting damage out, cheap shot, cheap, nice crowd control from Method Black, clean opener to the match. They forced Ice Block early in game 2. Are they going to be able to do it again here?
Yeah, we'll have to see. Morrow gets the Life Cocoon. Nicely done by Looney before the Polymorph goes off, giving him a big shield so he could stay alive. But that is the Vendetta. Maledict rolling on to Morrow. He has the Temporal Shield up, looking for crowd control. Can he find it? Unfortunately denied with a kidney shot into a Cyclone. Really good control there by Method Black, denying the crowd control of Morrow, allowing Raikou to survive. And now still, most of the pressure is on Morrow in this game.
One of the things that Method Black said to us when we were interviewing them prior to this tournament was, we were asking them, why did the spring finals not go so well for them? One of the things was preparation, but the other thing was just playing a faster paced game. They feel like they can outplay their opponents in the fast paced game. It's much more pressure on their opposition. Wildcard Gaming are having to feel that right now. Method Black all over them, but they are respecting it, they're surviving it, and they're actually taking the lead as consequence of it. Raikou forced into the ice block. Meanwhile, Morrow did a stellar job of holding on to his. Looney trades out Trinket for Blind, a fair trade. Wildcard Gaming, once again, they've survived the storm, they weathered that. Now they're the ones pushing, and they forced that ice block.
If they win this game, Wildcard Gaming is going to be kicking themselves that, they didn't try this out a little bit earlier on in the season, because Rogue Mage Druid has been the bane of their existence, and they're ahead in this matchup. They've already beat Diabolus. Now, Method Black, they're up 1-0 in the Rogue Mage Druid versus the Warrior Mage Monk matchup, and they're up on an ice block. They managed to get the first ice block from Raikou in the game. Morrow still has one of his left, and things are looking good here for Wildcard Gaming. Let's see what they can do. However, Method Black looking to strike back. Kidney shot on Morrow. Full Cyclone on Looney. And this is easily the Cauterize. Battlemaster, Shimmer. Morrow trying to hold on the best he can, and he manages to hold on to not only the Cauterize, but his Ice Block as well. Looney with the Life Cocoon coming in clutch, and that was really nicely done by Morrow, holding on to so many of those defenses, only really relying on that Battlemaster to stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, that was a team effort there. They got the Battlemasters, they used the Commanding Shout from Blizzo, and they used the Life Cocoon, but it was so well timed from Wildcard Gaming. And I mean, if you commit all those cooldowns and you still have to ice block, it's the worst case scenario. But because they were able to hold it, now they do have the ice block for the next set of DRs. Still, Method Black are all over this game. They have so much pressure. They force the ice block. They still have crowd control everywhere. It's so difficult for Wildcard Gaming to recover. Full Cyclone on Looney. Cauterize procs. This could be game for Method Black, and they will win it 3-1, advancing to the grand finals.
They're definitely getting loud now, but I kind of feel like Wildcard Gaming